This is not a drill. People of the internet, RetroRaconteur here, and according to 2 official job postings from Avalanche Software, the developers behind Hogwarts Legacy, work on an unannounced AAA console title is underway, or at least it's about to begin very soon. We have to break this down right here, right now. Could it be Hogwarts Legacy 2? Is it just DLC? I don't think so. You'll see why here in a moment. First, though, let's take a look at the exact quotes for each of these listings. Okay, so here's the first one, and it's for a software engineer located in Salt Lake City, Utah, and it is for a full-time position. There's a lot of stuff in here relating to Avalanche's history, benefits, some legal info, but here are the juicy bits if you're a Hogwarts Legacy fan. There's a section that says, what part will you play? So for this position, you will develop gameplay systems, develop and maintain tools for production of AAA game titles, collaborate with other engineers and clients to develop, maintain, debug, and ship games. And the last one, write and review code, develop documentation, and debug problems on game systems. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Retro, that doesn't say anything about a new title or anything about an unannounced title. But wait, there's more. Remember how I said there's a lot of stuff at the beginning relating to Avalanche's history? Well, tucked away in that 4th paragraph is an ever so important line that says, Avalanche Software, a division of Warner Brothers Games Incorporated, seeks a software engineer to join our talented team working on an unannounced AAA console title. Boom. There it is, right in their own words. Okay, now to the other job listing. This one is for an associate software engineer, and it is also for a full-time position. A few slight differences, though, when it comes to what part will you play. You'll design and write production game code and blueprints, create tools and processes used in production, work with designers to implement and tune various in-game scenarios, document implemented features, systems, and new approaches, and lastly, work with engineering team and QA to identify issues and fix them. That same line, though, about the unannounced AAA console title, it's also present here in this one. And the fact that it appears in 2 different job postings, I think eliminates the possibility of this being maybe some sort of mistake or typo. I mean, if they copy pasted over from one listing to the next, maybe. But again, that very sentence mentioning the unannounced AAA console title, it also mentions the specific job. So basically, it changes in each one to match the job. Now, to be totally fair, if we're talking about the chances of a typo, we also have to consider that there are some incorrect bits of information in the previous paragraph because it says something about how they're currently working on Hogwarts Legacy and the game is set for release in 2022, even though of course we know it's 2023 and the game is already out, at least on current gen. But I have double and triple checked it is an active listing. This is not an old listing unless it's an error on their part, which we'll continue to watch and monitor this to see if anything changes. My next question though, and the one I know you guys are all asking, what could this be for? So let's walk through some of the possibilities here. Could this be for a Hogwarts Legacy DLC? If you remember, shortly after the game's launch on current gen, game director Alan Tu told IGN there were no current plans for DLC. Basically, they were focused on getting the game out for PS4 and Xbox One gamers. Well, guess what, folks? This is the week of May 5th, launch week for those on PS4 and Xbox One. So 2 things here. I don't know if this specifically is referring to the DLC, but at the same time, I also think a DLC almost has to happen. I mean, it has to, right? A game cannot do this well and then not get any post-launch support. I still fully believe there will be a DLC at some point. It's just a matter of when, not if. But as it relates to this specific story, there's just something about that unannounced AAA console title to me that doesn't sound like a DLC. Now, maybe this is how some studios refer to DLC. Maybe they consider an expansion as an unannounced title. I could possibly see that. If you think about things like The Witcher, when they released Blood and Wine, it was almost like its own separate thing. So maybe Blood and Wine was considered an unannounced title at some point. I don't know. I still lean more toward less likely, but I do think there's a chance. The other possibility, and I think a pretty strong possibility, is that work on a Hogwarts Legacy sequel is now underway. You guys want to see a sequel, right? Hit that like button to let me know if you guys want to see a Hogwarts Legacy 2. Of course, this would be years away, but definitely not as long as Hogwarts Legacy, considering they already have so many of the tools and systems up and running. So let's do a little math here. Work on Hogwarts Legacy began around 2017. We don't know for sure exactly when it began, but somewhere around there, and then the game released in early 2023. So that's roughly a 5 to 6 year development time. So my best guess, I could potentially see a Hogwarts Legacy 2 as early as maybe late 2026, early 2027. And that's especially if this hiring that we're seeing right here is in fact related to Hogwarts Legacy 2. I guess there is another possibility, one I don't really want to think about, but there is a chance this could be something completely unrelated to Hogwarts and unrelated to the Wizarding World. I think chances for that are incredibly low, given how much passion and how much excitement we saw that the dev team had for this project. Alan, too, even talked early on about how they wanted to do more in this world with our help, which of course meant if the game sold well, and guess what? It absolutely has. We are still waiting on the full updated numbers, which I think we could be getting those very soon, either at an upcoming WB stockholder meeting or a week or two after the launch of last gen. I mean, the game just absolutely shattered even WB's expectations. It sold 256% more than expected, earned more than $850 million in the first 2 weeks on the market. And I have a full breakdown for all those sales numbers that we have so far in the next video. You can check it out on the right side of your screen. And of course, sound off in the comments to let me know what you guys think about this news. Is it a DLC? Is it a sequel? Something different? Either way, I can't wait to see what's in store next for Avalanche Software. As always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.